Courtney and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the fairly new-ish Haus Labs TriClone Skin Tech Foundation. This is what the actual box looks like. I have used it a few times. I wanted to keep the box because I actually wanted to show you guys a few things about it. But if you are interested in this foundation, a wear test, and all that great stuff, then please continue to watch. So Haus Labs is of course a brand by Lady Gaga. She originally launched September 2019, I think it was. I'm not sure why they decided to like rebrand. I think it was because maybe they wanted to be a little bit more earth conscious. If I'm not mistaken, I might be completely wrong. These days they're more cruelty-free, vegan, and all of that great stuff. I didn't initially try Haus Laboratories. There was nothing that kind of caught my eye. I do like the fact that this go around they're doing like complexion products and stuff like that. When I initially bought it, it was actually like a perforated edge right here, and then it's like a closed in box at the bottom. So when you buy this foundation, you will know if it has been used or not based on the fact that the box is actually closed. Also, the box is like that recyclable, I hate that word, material, which is really nice. This is what the actual bottle looks like. It does come in a glass jar. It does feel very heavy and luxurious. Now it does come frosted, so it is one of those things that the color you see doesn't necessarily reflect the color inside. This foundation is $45 for 1 ounce, and it does come in 51 shades. The shade situation is weird. I purchased the shade 340 medium cool. I am in no way a cool tone. The 340 medium cool is described as medium with cool golden undertones. I know that that's an oxymoron, but it is what it is. I think that if you're able to, the best thing you can do is just go in the store and swatch them if you can, because again, the shade names and the shade descriptions don't actually help that much. Now, I did also try out the shade 350, which is Cool Golden Peach. That is a different shade that would work for my skin tone as well. For me, I feel like if they are trying to do something new with the way they're describing the foundation, and again, I didn't do any like heavy duty research as to why they started naming these shades and doing the shades the way they did. But for me, I feel like it is way too confusing. We don't have to reinvent the wheel with warm golden and neutral undertones. I feel like for a lot of people it's confusing enough than to try to like use the same terms in new ways. Per usual, I'm gonna do one side of my face with a beauty blender, and the other side of my face I am going to use a brush. Now, I have not been able to completely decipher how many pumps I need of this foundation. I know 1 isn't enough, 2 starts to feel heavy, and anything more than that is like full coverage the way I like it, but like way too makeup-y, you know what I mean? So we're just gonna do 1 pump per side and see what that does, and we'll add more if we need to. And that's what we're looking like. Can y'all focus? It's a little lighter than a regular like serum-y kind of foundation, if that makes sense. As far as the actual shade, for me, it's a little bit more yellow than I would like, but this was the best color I think for my skin tone. And honestly, like I said, because it was so confusing, I didn't want to keep like going back and forth. I kind of went with what worked the best for me at the time instead of going through all of the mid-tone shades, if that makes sense. And as you can see, it spreads really nicely. It's definitely not one of those stick and move kind of foundations. You have plenty of time to work with it and move it around. And I think if you're doing one of those like all cream looks, this would be a really, really good foundation for that. All right, so no foundation and with foundation. For me, I like sponges a little bit better, and this is what that is on this side. Healthy skin kind of clings to the skin in a nice way, you know what I mean? This is pump number 2 on this side. We're gonna use a brush over here. Again, spreads really nicely and you still get a really good coverage with it. All right, so this is brush and this is sponge. Again, I feel like if we do 1 or 2 more pumps, it would give us the full coverage that I usually like. However, this is a foundation that feels makeup-y, and even now it's 1 layer and it does feel makeup-y. This is a foundation, at least on my dry skin, that does not dry down. I've used different powders, I've used a lot of things to try to get this foundation to sort of mattify a little bit, and it is one of those foundations that is not going to do that. It very much stays a little bit, I don't want to say tacky because tacky implies that it's like sticky, you know what I mean, but it does stay movable. I guess I'll say. It would definitely melt off your face in the summer in the heat, but in the wintertime, if you have dry skin like I do, I don't mind it, especially now in autumn. It's starting to get a little cooler. I don't mind it. If you're wearing a mask, it will come off on the mask, absolutely. It's one of those foundations that looks beautiful, but it is not a stay in place kind of foundation. It just isn't. I love the way this foundation makes my skin look. It doesn't blur the skin to the point of looking like completely filtered and smooth, but it does hug the skin just right and fill up the pores just enough that if I wanted to just wear concealer and this foundation and do like a natural day makeup, I could do that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup. I have another review to do with the Charlotte Tilbury concealer that I'm gonna be using today as well. So I'm gonna do that and then we'll come back and have a little chat. All right, so this is the final look that we are going to be rocking today. Few things that I definitely forgot. So I was actually gonna go in today with my Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. This is one of the products that helps the foundation to be a little bit less touchy, you know what I mean? I'll show you guys a picture with me using this primer with the foundation so you can see what that looks like and what it looks like at the end of the day. It is a product that helps with the longevity. It does help with the pores. I forgot to put it on today, but it is what it is. I did want to show you guys that. Also, today I did set my face with the Makeup Forever Dual Matte Powder. Again, it's still going to transfer. It's still going to be a little bit touchy-feely. However, these two products together will help it not be as bad. I do have a little bit of smile lines coming through with this foundation, but it isn't something that gets so bad that it's like annoying. It doesn't sink in deep into the smile lines or anything like that. And today, without a primer, I only have my skincare underneath, and like I said, I set it with the Makeup Forever powder. It still looks really, really good. I did want to read off some of the claims and all of that stuff of this actual foundation. Now, it is supposed to be natural finish, medium coverage, which we kind of discussed. It definitely is medium coverage. Anything that you try to build is going to be more touchy-feely, and not only more touchy-feely, but you're going to feel cakey. It's not a foundation that looks cakey even when you build it, I gotta be honest. On the days that I did do 3 or 4 pumps, it still looks really good. It just feels heavy. And today, with everything put together, it still feels makeup-y. I can't get away from the makeup feeling. However, I really like this foundation and the look that it gives me. You know what I mean? It says a medium coverage, weightless, clean foundation with fermented arnica that helps reduce redness and protects from environmental stress. I do love that we're in this realm of like making foundations good for the skin almost. I know like in the past we've been wearing a lot of crap on our face and so to have foundations these days be so geared towards healthy looking skin, I think it's a beautiful thing. The fermented arnica helps visibly reduce redness and irritation. It also says it has, ooh, these words, Intenso 7 complex, which is a proprietary blend of medicinal herbs that promote healing and calming. Bioferment 7 complex, which is a proprietary blend of super antioxidants that protect the skin from stress. This foundation does not claim to be 24 hours, doesn't claim to be 6 hours, doesn't claim that it's not gonna come off. It literally says it's a nice looking medium coverage foundation that is weightless, which again, I don't agree with the weightless part. I'm an avid makeup wearer and I feel this on my face every single time I've worn it, every single primer I've worn it with, every single powder I put it with. I absolutely feel this makeup on my face. And it's supposed to be a clean foundation, so it doesn't really claim to be anything like that it's not. With that being said, it is now 12:52. I'm gonna go ahead and round that to like 1 o'clock so we don't have to like penny pinch the numbers or the time, you know what I'm trying to say. If you are interested in the products that I wore on my face today, as well as the pictures that I show you, everything is always in the description box. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, run my errands, and I'll be back hopefully within the next 8 hours. Bye. Alright guys, I am back and this is what my face is looking like. Alright, let me see. What time is it? I think it's like 10 o'clock now. It is now 10:11. Alright, so we've had this foundation on for 8 to 9 hours, something like that. I'm actually about to go ahead and do a workout. I know it's a little bit late, but I got like 2 workouts I gotta get, you know, and I gotta keep doing the thing. Anyway, we pretty much talked about everything with this foundation. I feel like I kind of already told you guys how I feel about it for the most part, as far as claims versus what it actually does and all of that stuff. Right now it's looking a little bit shiny. Just a little bit of oils are peeking through. A little bit on my nose is already rubbed off. There is a little bit of breakdown in this area as well, but it's not to the point where I'm super like upset about it. I think with a little bit of blotting, everything will go back to normal. Let me see if maybe I have something to blot with. Everything still looks really decent. The contour, the blush, the highlighter's still there. However, it still does feel a little makeup-y. It's not better or worse than it was earlier, even with the oils peeking through. I don't feel it any worse necessarily. In the wintertime, you want your skin to be a little bit more hydrated just because it's cold outside, and cold typically dries out your skin. So I do feel like this is a good winter foundation. However, if you're wearing a mask and all that other stuff, it's definitely going to transfer, so you want to be mindful of like what you're wearing with it. And while using the Tarte primer with the powders and stuff like that can alleviate it a little bit, it doesn't take it away, at least for me. Ultimately, I don't mind the transfer and I don't mind the non-drying down because I do believe it looks beautiful. I normally wouldn't go for foundations like this, but it's just something about it that I really like the way my skin looks. I'm gonna use it again. It's funny because I feel like this foundation is a thicker, more full coverage version of the Armani Luminous Silk foundation, in that it gives your skin smoothness, a really beautiful glow. It's natural. Dare I say I would actually purchase this foundation again, just because again I love the way my skin has looked every time I've worn this foundation. If you have oily skin and you tried this foundation, I would like to know your thoughts on it. I actually would recommend it for people that have dry skin, just because it really does make your skin look really pretty. And not to say that it wouldn't for anybody with oily skin, but I imagine there would be a heavier breakdown almost. I guess it just depends on your level of like how much you want to fuss with it, you know what I mean? That about does it for me, guys. Hopefully this video was helpful, informative, and all that great stuff. If so, please give me a thumbs up. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video if it is in your heart to do so, and I will see you guys in the next one.